Question 1 of Chapter 15 asks, what are some functions of lipids in the body? And lipids are any biological molecule that is non-polar, so soluble in non-polar solvents and not in polar ones. So lipids are any non-polar biological molecule. And they have a bunch of functions. One is to store energy. That would be the case, for example, of fat. The fat cells that we have are storing energy just in case we need it in the future. Another example would be to protect organs. If you wrap an organ in fat, it's like a cushion. A third example is to insulate organs. You can see this on seals and like walruses or whales. They're covered in fat, and that fat helps to keep them warm when they're in those cold Arctic waters. They create cell membranes. What separates a cell from the outside? A layer of oil, really. A layer of lipids. They're called phospholipids, but it's really a layer of oil, and the water inside, which is polar, can't pass through the non-polar barrier. So the inside water stays inside, the outside water stays outside, and that creates the membrane for the cells. Another thing they do is they insulate nerve fibers. So their little fat is wrapped around the axons of your neurons, and it helps them fire really, really fast. The fat gets wrapped around the axons in the first couple of years of your life. And so one of the reasons why babies are so sort of uncoordinated is that their axons are not yet wrapped in lipids. They're not yet wrapped in fat. And so the signals don't travel as fast, and so they're unable to respond as quickly and in as coordinated of a way as even a young child is who has the fat just a couple years later. So fat helps insulate nerve fibers, and that helps them send signals much faster. Lipids are also hormones in a lot of ways. So arachidonic acid gets converted to prostaglandins, and that causes inflammation. And the hormones that cause inflammation are lipids. And also, cholesterol is a lipid, and all of the sex hormones are made from cholesterol. All like things like testosterone or progesterone, estrogen, that produce male or female characteristics and help a fetus develop either into a male or female person. That development is caused by hormones that are lipids. And also you can notice them in waxy coatings, especially in plants, especially in hot places like Florida. So like if you look at the leaves on the beach, say on a sea grape tree, the leaves are really waxy, and they're doing the same thing to the whole leaf as the lipids are in the barrier of a cell membrane. The water inside the leaf is polar, and so it's not going to mix with anything that's nonpolar. If you surround the whole leaf with a coat that's nonpolar, then the water inside can't get out, no matter how hot it is. And so it's one way that the plants have of reducing the loss in water. So then they can survive in drier environments like the beach. That's if you want to keep water in. What if you want to keep water out? Feathers are covered in oils. At least feathers for birds that can like float on water, like ducks. Their feathers are covered in waxy coats, and that means they can go in the water, and the water doesn't penetrate into them. There are some birds, especially in Florida, there's the anhinga, which you'll see all the time sort of fanning you'll see it's got like its little head and beak, and it's like fanning its wings out like this all the time, just standing there. I don't want it to be that. Just constantly with its wings out. And that's because it doesn't produce a lot of lipids. It doesn't secrete a lot of lipids on its wings, and so when it goes in the water to hunt for fish, its feathers get wet, and then it has to dry them out. So that is another example of where oils can be used as waxy coatings. And so these are some functions of lipids in the body.